Got a pre-generation Kirby and want to strip it apart? This is the video for you. So what we'll do is dive straight into it. Now don't forget everything you use in the video today. There are links in the description below for the best place to get your Kirby products, so make sure you check those out at the end of this video. Hi Kirby fans, welcome back to the channel. So today's video we're going to be stripping down that $20 Legend II, seeing what hidden secrets inside, and this will be a tutorial on how to strip your early Kirby pre-generation down to the armature. So what we'll do is dive straight into it. So before you start, what you want to do is get your Kirby down to this condition, and you're going to remove the outer bag, the handle, and then finally the portable head unit. So first up, what you're going to want to do is remove the screws. Now this is all going to be done via time lapse, so all the screws will be removed via time lapse to speed it up a little bit. And you're going to want a little pot to put your screws in and a Phillips screwdriver. So start off by removing the cable, plastic trim and the rear casing. Right, so if you want to polish this, there will be a polishing video as well, so I'll put that separate. You're going to want to remove these wheels, so it's just 2 screws there. So next up we're going to remove our safety switch. Now, if this hasn't been siliconed, then it should just fall off. If it won't come off after you've took those screws out, what I tend to do is just put a screwdriver in there and then just give that a bit of a tap, and that will release. Looks pretty clean in there. I'm not sure if this was serviced before they packed it away. So got a few dog hairs, a few little chunks here. Chunk out the plastic fan as well, so it will need a new fan. Now 9 times out of 10 you can just snap these. So it's just a case of holding the fan and giving it a big shove. If you can't do that and it's just turning the armature, then what I tend to do is just hold the fan, if you're going to replace it, with a pair of mole grips, and then we'll just turn that. There we go. And that'll come off. You can get a tool from Kirby to put in the back here to hold the armature while you take this off, but I find 9 times out of 10 that works. I've seen a lot of videos where people heat them up. You don't need to heat them up. All you're going to do is expand that metal, then you're going to probably weaken it, and as well you're going to melt the fan on as well, and then that should just pull off. Now if you find it a bit stiff, just spray that with a bit of WD and it will release it. So it's just a tiny bit of silicone spray and that should suddenly release. If you leave it for about 10 minutes, and we'll come back to that in 10 minutes, and it should come off. Okay, so that should release now. Right, so surprisingly that's pretty clean behind there. There's a bit of corrosion. It definitely needs re-greasing, but that fan's not in a bad nick or bad condition. Got a slight crack there, so it definitely needs a new fan. So we're putting a nice white fan or black fan in there to replace this one. So take that out. Next up we're going to spin this round and just remove the brushes. So to remove your brushes, what you're going to do is get a screwdriver and again just push down on there and that should release. Press down, push down on there, keep your finger above it because it's going to spring out. And what you don't want, there we go, is that jumping out. So those brushes aren't too bad. So we just put those to one side. Always remember the black lead goes on the top and your grey one goes on the bottom. So just flip that over. And out that brush comes. Okay, next up we're going to want to release this part here. So that you can just unscrew and then those cables will come apart. So I'd leave those intact, there's no need to release these cables. I tend to leave all these together. So we're just going to unscrew there. Now you can put all the screws together or you can keep them all at one side. So that, just put to one side. So we know that goes there. Next up we're going to release the light assembly. And split that over and you've got one screw there, one screw there, one screw there and one screw there. Just pull that out. You can leave your two screws in there if you want so you don't lose them. Just keep everything in order. You can give this a good clean as well. So again, when you want to clean it, just take your bulb out, give it a wipe out. Try not to bend these terminals here because these are the ones that activate your light. Next we're going to do these. That's what clamps our light assembly in place. So you can see there's a little bit of grime in there. So we can put that aside to wash. Again, put your bolts with it if you want. So now what we've got is this plastic piece here. And this is actually hooked on the hinge assembly here. So you can unhook that. So flip that over. Now to release this, just get a slotted screwdriver and I tend to slide that in there and you're just going to lever that. And what that should do is just make that push in and it will release. As you can see, that's released. And you've got these two wires here. So remember your orange is on the right as you're looking from behind and your white is on the left. So with your plastic, just get a bit of a twist and it should release off the hinge and then you can pull that out. To release these wires, all I tend to do is push a Torx 15 up there. That's one and that's two. And those just pop out. So then put that to one side and give that a wash. So I'm going to spin this round now. So these are going to feed through. What we're going to do is pop the light out, just press that and this should pull out like so because it just slots in. And then that holds your little cover slip which gives you a little light. Okay, next up we've got our wires here. So we're just going to release those from here. So we're going to release this bit here and there's two Phillips screws, one here and one here. And that should lift out and our wires should feed through. Like so. We've got our earth wire here. So we're just going to release that. Okay, put that to one side. Put those two to one side. So keep those with your earth screw and you know roughly where they go. So now all we've got to release is our armature and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And now that should release. If it's a little bit stiff, you can put this back on and just give it a tap. Okay, undo that. And that now will come out. Well, so you can see front bearing in here and it's just held in by a circlip. So if you want to remove that, the circlip removers. We're going to take this and give it a bit of a clean as well. I'll leave that bearing in for now, but this just needs a tiny bit of a clean. So we'll get that cleaned up and possibly get this re-greased as well. And now with your armature, this should just pull out. So you can have a little washer on the back of it. So just be careful when you pull it out. So there's our rear bearing. That needs a bit of a clean. Tip that up. There's the washer, and it's the same as you've got in the G series where you've got the little spring washer in the back. That will then go on there, and then your bearing and that will connect on there. So just check this bearing, and that bearing seems fine. armature needs a little bit of a clean. These little dents, don't worry about them. They're normal, they're just for balancing, and they're just done in the factory. So that's just done for balancing the armature for when it spins. Okay, so we can give that a bit of a clean up. If you've got a blower, just get a blower and blow all this out. So get all this cleaned up, and then I'll catch you in part 2 when we start reassembling it. And don't forget everything used in the video today, there are links in the description below for the best place to get your Kirby products. Make sure you check those out at the end of this video. Enjoy that quick tutorial. As you can see, it's really easy to take your Legend 2 apart. I will be doing a follow-up video on how to repack those bearings as well, so that'll just be a short one, and I'll put an archive above linking to that ready for when I upload that video, so make sure you check that out. If you're new to the channel, if you find you're getting value out of this content, then contemplate showing support by slapping that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Ding that bell for notifications so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. Give us a big thumbs up and comment down below. I'll reply to the comment, and if I like what you comment, I'll pin it to the video. So what we'll do is cut to any bloopers, and I'll catch you in the next one.